What's good, y'all? It's Infinitus, aka Joe Poppy, and this is gonna be the intro video to the Expansive Experience presents Game Time. And just to kind of start off, like, why Game Time? And the reason Game Time for me, at least, is I've always just grew up. I love to play video games. I love gaming. I love sports, and you know, um, and I've always just kind of said Game Time, which is interesting, like just through daily habits or daily activities where I'm like, what's good, y'all? Or like something good happens or we successfully do something we meant to do, like me and friends, or I do, and I say like game time, like let's get it. So what it actually means to me though, it's kind of interesting because as you can see, game time has the little periods. So it's gaming, athletics, music, and energy. So that's what the GAME stands for. So that's also another reason. And genuine, authentic, memorable engagement, baby. It's kind of like what came to me, and I was like, all right, I'm done rock with that. So this is going to be a digital experience that the expansive experience is bringing. And the expansive, I could touch a little bit into the expansive experience. Actually, I'll go more into detail in another video, but expansive experience is basically just my business, which is basically interactive experience based entertainment along with services and events. As of right now, I'm doing more of a digital version of what expensive experiences is bringing, but this is also a physical experience as well, as you can tell by the description. So we'll kind of start off on this side where it's like, what would be the value brought, by Game Town, and this is kind of just some things that kind of popped up. And what I mean by that is, I don't want to say that this is all it is. It's not limited to this, but it's kind of something to give you a little gist. So we got a community. So building a community, it's a safe space. You'll have a community, a safe space, no matter who you are. Of course, a certain flow. We'll go get more into that, but that's basically as long as you're loving, you're respectful, and you're mindful, things of that nature, then you'll have a community. Regardless of anything else of that nature. Uh, joy. So like belonging. We got perspective shifting, which is something I feel like I've been doing my whole life, and I never really knew it. Um, but I'm aware of it now, of course, these last 7 years and things of that nature. But just speaking on the whole longer sense of when the period when I wasn't understanding that I was doing that. What else did I put? Oh, energetic art. So I mean, in a lot of different ways, but for right now, I would just say self care. So the energetic arts are used to like self care, expansion of creativity, expansion of awareness. We got of all topics. So in game time, anytime I say topics, it's the gaming, athletic, music, and energy. My unique energy signature, obviously, by watching me, experiencing me through this camera and through this digital form. Knowledge, so the knowledge I bring through the perspective and lens that I see it through. My awareness of MBS, also awareness of mind, awareness and alignment of mind, body, soul. That's something I'm very passionate about. I'll go in more details on a separate video, but I just remember about 7 years in college. 7 years ago when I was in college, I was on a trip, and I remember just like I was looking in the mirror and I was bawling because like crying. And I was becoming more aware of the world. Cause I always just kind of lived in my own bubble before then, and I was just really becoming more. My awareness was expanding, and I was just seeing how much of the world is like dealing with certain things, how much pain and suffering in the world. So I just remember bawling, and I was looking in the mirror, and I just said, I want to be able to help anybody with anything about the mind, body, and spirit. And that threw me on a journey for sure for these last 7 years. And so just kind of sharing that experience with you guys, everything I've learned, and we'll see where that takes us. And then we got self development and growth of all topics. So I've realized naturally I'm like anything I kind of put my mind to just develops and grows, or anywhere I put my attention to. That's kind of gonna actually go with like another part that I could take this digital experience like onto another platform. But regardless, I still think that can still happen here on this platform on YouTube and through this experience that we'll be having. So the other part I put is like more of why, like kind of ask myself like why am I even gonna do this, kind of thing. And the things that kind of just popped up were was to share my story, my personal story, because I've had a pretty wild ride now that I look back at it, kind of tying into what I was talking about, the awareness of the mind, body, soul. That's when everything kind of got like, oh, it's kind of like life was like, all right, you want to be able to do that for other people. Let's see if you can do it for yourself, you know. So go experience those things and handle them basically. So um, spread love. Honestly, just spread love. I'm able to spread love on the daily. I meet people and I realize one thing people enjoy about me, or one thing that I just naturally love to do, is spread love. So why not use this technology for my advantage, in the sense of like being able to do that a lot instead of just with the people that I'm physically interacting with daily, you know, and meeting. Why not do that? Spread that as far as you possibly can, you know. My Ikagi, I might have spelled that one wrong, but it's cool. That's like a Japanese concept of like, why do you get up in the morning? Why do you want to live? So this is kind of like a part of that. I want to say this is the reason. I mean, not necessarily, but like it ties in with that at least. So, um, what else did I put? Oh, practice being in front of a camera, since I am getting into like modeling and acting and commercials and things of that nature. Might as well just do this too, you know. Get used to being the camera settings and just being super comfortable, making a natural habitat. Mm, share my joy. Then we got share my perspective, my unique perspective, because I get that a lot. I've heard that many times, and a lot of this stuff kind of like on the value that I know this is gonna bring and the why. It's like a lot of this comes from like repetitive patterns I've seen in my life, in the sense of like, oh, you got a unique mind on your different mind, your rare mind, unique mindset, or friends telling me like you should share your thought process with people, and just different feedback I got over time. Because I mean, to me, when I'm experiencing, nothing seems like different or rare, because I'm not having anything to compare to. It's just me expressing myself, just being myself, you know. So, but over time, I started becoming more and more aware of patterns, and I'm like, hold on, you know, I should probably do something with this. um, I get to be a value of the world through all this stuff that I could bring, so that's cool. That's another why, and that also kind of ties in with the Kagi, because that's kind of what the Kagi is. It's about like, what do you love, what are you good for, what you can get paid for, and how you could serve the world, and blending that all in together, you know. So then honestly, just have fun, you know. I could live a lifestyle where I'm kind of doing what I love to do on a daily, which is gaming, athletic, music, and energy, you know. Those are kind of things I love to do. Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's hard to kind of categorize me or put me in a spot, but that's kind of at least a good gist to start somewhere. Then we got. Hold on, I can't see from right there. What the heck did I say? Oh, okay, okay. Gain. Oh, generate revenue and attract my team. Like I said, the expensive experience, it's a way bigger operation and vision and goal for it. But right now, to just kind of start everything off after my inner journey, this is kind of where it's starting. So basically, open the doors to build that. Then we got, oh yeah, that's exactly what I have next, which is open doors for myself of opportunity, you know, and to fulfill certain intentions that I have, you know. And I'll go more into details on that in other videos and things of that nature. But now we got, so like, I don't know why I put that. That's pretty interesting. But like, not hiding no more. I'm not. I wouldn't say I hid from the world, but I wanted to kind of just be with myself to fully understand myself. So I isolated myself in that sense. Now it's coming out of that isolation and like just sharing that with the world, kind of like the sun, you know, it just rises and shares its energy, its light, and every day, you know. So that would be another reason. And it doesn't need permission; it just does it. It rises up every day and shines, you know. It just gives life to the earth, to the rest of the world, and just does its thing every day, bright as heck. Some people it's too blind, it blinds them, and some people warms them, you know. So that kind of thing. And it doesn't worry about whatever it's doing for that person. It's just doing what it does. And then I put share my skills, talents, and gifts with the world. It's my ability to do that, you know, because I realized I do have a lot of gifts and talents in multiple realms of like areas, whether it's gaming, athletics, music, energy, um, business, things of that nature. It's just using that skill set and to provide the lifestyle I want for myself, honestly, straight up, and to just spread my light with the world. I'm starting to realize that's part of my main purpose, in the sense of I think at the core of it to like put it all in an umbrella, but an umbrella kind of to just make it quick and sweet to explain it. Just show love, spread love, remind people they are loved, things of that nature. Oh, that's kind of what I put. I forgot to mention that too on share my story at the top is to remind people they are not alone. Since I know the more I go into that of my story and things I've experienced, I start to realize like, whoa, you didn't experience that for no reason. It's to like help people who went through it and things of that nature as well. So and to like remind people like, no, you're not tripping. Like you're good. Other people are experiencing it and we're all fine. So that's that. Other than that, that's pretty much all I'd have to say. And in a gist, to kind of like summarize it. But if that's something you can rock with, go ahead and subscribe and be ready for the journey because it's gonna be a fun journey. To be real, I've kind of had this planned out for a while, and I was actually talking to my niece about this the other day when I was like, it's cool to see when you are at a spot that you talked about because to like make it make sense, I was basically explaining to her how at one point I was talking to my sister a couple years back where I said, I kind of just wanna have my own time to myself, grow my own spiritual. I didn't know it was gonna go that wild to be honest, that journey, but at least at that time I didn't. But I just maybe part of me actually kind of knew all that was gonna happen. And I needed to handle that first before doing this. But regardless of whatever it was, I just remember telling her at that point, I want to go like on my own spiritual journey, tend to myself, because kind of like for me personally, you get 18, that's when you're first like you kind of now you're kind of under your own mental process compared to living with your parents and they're kind of shaping you in a sense of how to view the world, the perspective. Although I've always kind of thought for myself, but like the influence is kind of always there. So getting to a point where it's like, all right, who really am I with no outside influence. And just going from there, and it's been a wild ride. Damn, I forgot I was talking about no cap. It'll come back. Fuck. Hold on. All right, boom, we back. I remember what I was saying. So I was basically explaining it's cool to see how at one point I was telling my sister like, I know I'm skilled and talented. I can make music. I could be I just always had the feeling that I'm supposed to be in front of a lot of eyes, even though maybe that's not the way to put it. Like famous or just well known and things of that nature. And I'm like, I want to spend time to myself first, because once I really, put out my plan of things of how to live my lifestyle, it's kind of like I don't want to put that on myself, but that's just how I used to think before. I'll just say that in that sense of I was thinking, I won't have that privacy like that because you're like well known and everyone's bothering you. So I just really wanted to boom, and then I'll execute my plan, and it's cool to see it. I said I remember telling her something around like once I get around 30, I want to spend my 20s just getting to know myself, really tapping in with myself and my spirit, with God, and like really just understanding what life is to me. And I'll go from there. Like I started at 30 is when I, put my plan into play. And it's like, whoa, here we are. Although I don't necessarily reside in time no more, and I wouldn't say I'm 30, but you get me. So it's kind of cool to like be there at that spot and like here it is. At least this digital format that this experience that I'm gonna give to kind of start things off. So it's like, well, I'm just grateful to even be here to be able to do it, and let's see where this journey takes me. I'm gonna do it with love, intention, and authenticity. Most importantly, honestly, that's my main thing that I like about this as well. Is like just bro, just be your most authentic self in front of the whole world. Who cares? And it's not like I need the whole world to see me. It's just more of like it doesn't matter who it is. I'm gonna still be myself, kind of thing. And that's always been me. But I think you gotta grow to realize there is certain aspects you kind of like put up walls or masks, and it's kind of like tearing those all down and just letting you shine, kind of like the sun, man. It just like it just goes out and shines. So if you watch this video all the way to this part, man, I appreciate you. One love, and I hope you're ready for the journey. Like I said, go ahead and go subscribe and let's do our thing. Let's see where it takes us. And don't be afraid to engage. Ask questions, whatever it is. Just be yourself here. That's my main thing that I like to provide for people that space because I like to be myself and I don't need to be like anyone else and you don't need to be like anyone else. So just be you and be comfortable in your own skin and just vibe out. You know the deal. Keep it icy. Infinite contraction, expansion, elevator, baby. It's one love, love always and then always. Peace, y'all. I'll see y'all on the next video.